The 1997 film LA Confidential is a crime story set in the 1950s. There's corruption, murder, and plenty of gunfire. But at its heart, the screenplay is an excellent example of a three-way character study, with fascinating character arcs, character orchestration, and much more. It's also no wonder that it took home an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. So without further ado, let's get into a deep character analysis of LA Confidential. Before we dive into character, we need to first take a look at the theme of this film. Okay, but how do we know what the theme is? They actually give us many clues throughout the story. Here's one.
Life is good in Los Angeles. It's paradise on Earth. That's what they tell you anyway.
Here's another.
When I came out to LA, this isn't exactly where I saw myself ending up.
Yeah, well, get in line.
Here's another.
Sue came on a bus with dreams of Hollywood, and this is how they turned out.
So based on these clues, we could formulate the thematic argument as image versus reality. Let's get a little more specific. How about illusion versus disillusion? In the story of LA Confidential, we have three main characters: Edmund Exley, Bud White, and Jack Vincennes. Let's examine how each man is disillusioned by his reality. Edmund Exley wants to measure up to his father's legacy, but in the end, he realizes that it's an empty accomplishment.
All I ever wanted was to measure up to my father.
Now's your chance. He died in the line of duty, didn't he?
Bud White wants to investigate and do real police work, but ends up being used only as muscle.
You'd be working out a homicide?
Homicide. Working cases.
Your talents lie elsewhere, Wendell. It's a muscle job. Do you follow my drift?
In Technicolor, sir.
And finally, Jack Vincennes chases fame and fortune, but doesn't like what he's become.
Put your camera right there. When I walk out, I'll stop right here. You get the movie premiere in the background.
Why'd you become a cop?
I don't remember.
This thematic playground is an excellent breeding ground for compelling character arcs. Let's take a deeper dive into these three characters and their respective arcs. A good character arc has to start at point A and end up at point Z in the end. In other words, it should be a gradual change from one thematic argument to the other. Oftentimes writers try to slam a character arc too abruptly into the end of the story, and it feels too fabricated. First, let's take a look at the character arc of Jack Vincennes. He goes from the illusion of being famous to the disillusionment of not liking what he's become. Here's how he starts out.
You pinch him, I do you up nice feature next issue. Plus usual 50 cash.
No, I need another 50. 220.
What's that for?
Well, it's a gratuity from Hush Hush magazine, you know. Buy yourself a new pair of loafers. Yeah, actually, what's the payoff?
You're the payoff expert.
Then we start to see a change in Vincennes' character.
Go get the facts, Jack.
What do you know about Pierce Patchett?
He cannot help me in my quest for prime sinuendo.
Here's the midpoint of his character arc, when we start to see a swing towards the final point of change.
Matt? Come on, kid. You don't have to do the... All right, college boy, I'll help. But there's a case your boys on homicide don't care about. You help me with mine, I'll help you with yours.
Since when do you work with Edmund Exley?
I messed something up. I'm trying to make amends.
Don't start trying to do the right thing, boyo. You haven't had the practice.
Edmund Exley exhibits another character arc of disillusionment. He wants to be a police officer of integrity, but ends up realizing that it gets him nowhere. Let's take a look at his starting point.
You're a political animal. You have the eye for human weakness, but not the stomach. Would you be willing to shoot a hardened criminal in the back in order to offset the chance that some lawyer...
No.
Then we start to see the change in his character.
Don't kill him.
Are you sure Golden Boy is up to the task, Cap?
Oh, I think you'd be surprised what the lad is capable of.
Difficult.
Give your career a rest. Leave her alone.
A naked guy with a gun? You expect anyone to believe that? How's it gonna look in your report?
It'll look like justice.
Here's the midpoint of his character arc. After that point, notice the inevitable change towards disillusionment.
Who would have thought? Shotgun Ed.
Shotgun Ed.
Somebody even cleaned up.
Shotgun Ed. Come on, kid.
I wanted them dead. I did what I had to do for justice.
Inez? Actually, over here. See your hero, Miss Soto? Hey, fellas, how about this?
We're trying to run down a lead on an associate of Vincennes. Rollo Tomasi? You ever heard Vincennes mention him?
And finally, in the last act of his change, Exley falls into complete disillusionment.
Why are you doing this? The Night Owl made you. You want to tear all that down?
With a wrecking ball.
Hold up your badge so they'll know you're a policeman.
Your golden boy is throwing his whole life away.
3 Night Owl suspects were innocent of the multiple homicides at the Night Owl.
I just couldn't resist.
They're using me, so for a little while I'm using them.
Bud White's character arc is interesting because he actually goes the other way, from disillusionment to illusion. He starts out thinking he's only good for muscle, but realizes he's smart enough to investigate.
Who in the hell are you?
Did you dance with a man for a change?
What are you, some kind of smartass?
In desperate needs of re-education in the ways of polite society.
Here's when we start to see the change in Bud White.
What were you gonna start with? Prostitution?
Here's the midpoint that springs him into his final change.
There's something wrong with the Night Owl. I just can't prove it, that's all. I'm not smart enough. Just the guy they bring in to scare the other guys shitless.
You're wrong. You found Patchett. You found me. You're smart enough.
Notice how, after that, he's all in.
I got a couple of Night Owl questions.
Don't know if you read the papers, but that case is closed.
Anything bother you about it, Ray?
You're a bit of a puzzlement to me these days, Wendell. You don't seem to be your old cruel self anymore.
Interestingly, despite these different character arcs, we see that all 3 characters end up doing the same thing: proper police investigation. Speaking of character arcs, let's now take a look at how LA Confidential uses motifs to bring them to life. Motifs in a story are all about symbolism. They're a prime example of when you can be poetic in a screenplay. Quite often, motifs are physical symbols that represent the change we see in certain characters of a story. For example, we've already talked about the character arc of Edmund Exley. Let's see how they reinforce the change with a physical motif. Eyeglasses.
At least get rid of the glasses. I can't think of a single man in the bureau who wears them.
Ace him at the grand jury tomorrow, son. Wear a smart-looking suit and ace him. And Ed, lose the glasses.
Yeah, wonderful. Got yourself a real career going on.
Over here, please.
Back door! Nobody else inside.
Glasses.
You're kidding.
What?
Nothing. Let's go.
Once we get to the midpoint of his character arc, where he blindly fires into an elevator and kills a suspect, notice how it's at this point where we never see Exley wearing glasses again. With Jack Vincennes, we see an obvious physical motif to track the changes in his storyline: money.
I do you up nice feature next issue, plus usual 50 cash.
No, I need another 50.
Look at how the physical motif is used to signal the change in Vincennes' character arc.
He cannot help me in my quest for prime sinuendo.
And again, here it's used in the midpoint of his change.
When hearts are lighter, smile, smile, smile.
Motifs are an excellent way of enhancing your visual storytelling. Think about incorporating them into your screenplays. When it comes to character, there is one element that is perhaps the most important in determining an engaging story. What do they want? Or even better, what do they want more than anything? This gives the audience a rooting interest in the story, because we naturally want to see if they'll accomplish their goals. For Edmund Exley, he wants to be a detective like his father.
What'll it be then? Patrol Division, Internal Affairs, what?
I was thinking Detective Bureau.
I'll promote you to lieutenant.
Detective Lieutenant.
Ed, you're 30. Your father didn't make lieutenant until he was 33.
I also know that when he made lieutenant, it was as a detective.
All I ever wanted was to measure up to my father.
In the case of Bud White, he wants to start using his brains instead of his brawn. He wants to investigate.
You'd be working out a homicide down at City Hall.
Homicide. Working cases.
48 two-man teams will shake 3 names apiece.
You ready to roll, White?
You take him. I got something I gotta do.
Christ, I don't know. What if one
Bill.
of these names?
Get somebody else. I need an address on a customer of yours. Her name was Lynn. Sue Lefferts died at the Night Owl. I'm investigating. I could get a chance to work homicide, like a real detective.
And finally, we have Jack Vincennes. His big desire is fame in Hollywood.
Put your camera right there. When I walk out, I'll stop right here. You get the movie premiere in the background.
When you transfer out of ICE, you'll be back on the show.
The show?
Badge of honor, Vincennes. We need to tone down your profile for a bit.
Ooh, so long, Vice. Badge of honor, here I come.
Hey, Big Jack! He's back.
Hey, Jack's back.
This might be one of the most crucial yet frequently overlooked aspects of building a character. Remember to give them a strong desire, so strong that it consumes them through the entire story. Because after all, if a character doesn't want anything, then there's nothing for the audience to root for. When it comes to characters, there's another excellent factor in bringing them to life: their ghost. In other words, a source of pain that haunts them. This character ghost can be used to drive a character's behavior. For example, it's fairly obvious to determine Bud White's character ghost.
When I was 12, my old man went after my mother with a bottle. I got in the way.
I'm sorry, it's none of my
Tied
business.
him to the radiator. I watched him beat my mother to death with a tire iron.
Knowing this, we can see how this drives the majority of his behavior throughout the story.
I'll get cozy with your parole officer. You touch her again, I'll have you violated on a kitty raper beef.
See what he wants, Buzz.
You okay?
She's fine.
I'm not asking you, sir. Somebody hit you?
It's not what you think.
Get back! Get back! Yeah, and fuck your mother! Fuck you!
In an ironic twist, their character ghost also drives him to do the very thing he abhors. Now let's see the character ghost of Edmund Exley.
Rollo was a purse snatcher. My father ran into him off duty, and he shot my father 6 times and got away clean. No one even knew who he was. Rollo Tomasi's the reason I became a cop. I wanted to catch the guys who thought they could get away with it. It was supposed to be about justice.
And finally, what's Jack Vincennes' character ghost? His armor is so thick, it's hard to even know.
Why'd you become a cop?
I don't remember.
So remember, character ghosts are just one of several powerful facets in making your character come to life, driving their behavior in a believable way. Let's look at an excellent example of character orchestration. Simply put, if you have 2 or more characters being put through the same action, orchestrate the characters by having them perform different actions. This shows the audience the contrast in the different characters. Otherwise, all of the characters will start to feel indistinguishable. In LA Confidential, there is a great example of character orchestration when the 3 main characters are asked to testify against other cops. Look at how different their reactions are.
Indictments may be handed down. Will you testify? No, sir, I won't.
You and Officer Stanslin brought the liquor to the station. Stanslin was already drunk.
Sir, I won't testify against my partner or anyone else. You're suspended from duty. We need police witnesses to offset the damage done to the department.
Justice has to be served. Of course I'll testify.
I'll promote you to lieutenant.
You will testify against 3 officers who have already earned their pension.
No thanks, I'm not a snitch.
I'll guarantee you a slap on the wrist. When you transfer out of ICE, you'll be back on the show.
The show?
Badge of honor, Vincennes.
Okay, I'll do it.
Dismiss, Vincennes.
Here's another example of excellent character orchestration. In this scene, notice the different actions of the three main characters and how they contrast with one another. Exley wants the violence to stop.
Hey, Stensland, the party's upstairs. This doesn't concern you. You're all going in my report. Let's go, Exley.
Bud White has no problem involving himself.
Get back, get back! Yeah, and fuck your mother! Fuck you!
And Jack Vincennes only gets involved when a material possession is tainted.
Hey, White, you better put a leash on your partner before he kills somebody.
Shut up! Move! Move! Hey! Get in!
So why is character orchestration important? It gives us a nice contrast in the story. That contrast also provides natural tension. So what are your thoughts? Is there anything else about the characters that I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to the Script Flute channel. Thank you so much for watching.